Good morning, learners. Welcome to this platform. It is on this platform that you have the right and the privilege to learn the sciences and other subjects at no cost. But in case you want extra tuition, we are available to offer you extra tuition at a small fee. My name once again is Mr. Paul Chilola, your teacher on this platform. Welcome to MSCE Form 3 Biology, in which we are going to cover some topics in biology. It is important for you to know what topics you need to cover in biology, in MSCE Biology in Form 3. The first topic in Form 3 is called Living Things and Their Environment. So under this topic, you have to learn about the terms used, estimating population of living things, methods of estimating population, plant and animal population, energy flow in an ecosystem, nutrient cycles in an ecosystem, components of an ecosystem, plants and animal communities in aquatic systems, adaptations of plants to various habitats, adaptations of animals to various habitats, human interaction with the environment. We shall also talk about climate change under the same topic. Topic number 2 is plant structure and function, where we are going to look at the leaf, then transport in plants, and then topic number 3, variations, vertebrates and invertebrates, looking at their common characteristics, the dichotomous key, internal structure of invertebrates, locomotion in vertebrates, and then we continue looking at the human digestive system, the digestive enzymes, food absorption, assimilation of food substances, abnormal conditions of the digestive system, and then the very last topic in Form 3 is the human circulatory system, whereby we are going to look at functions of the circulatory system. Okay, that shouldn't have been the last topic. The topics continue. We are going to look at the structure of the heart, structure and function of blood vessels, roles of blood cells, the process of blood clotting, the role of the heart in blood circulation, pulse rate, abnormal conditions associated with the circulatory system, the lymphatic system, components of the lymphatic system, differences between plasma, tissue fluid and lymph, differences between lymphatic and blood circulatory system. And then we continue looking at topic number 6, where we are going to have to look at reproductive system, the female reproductive system, the male reproductive system, sperm production, the development of an ovum in the ovary of a woman, the role of hormones in menstrual cycle, fertilization and conception, how twins are made, embryonic development, adaptations of placenta, process of birth, breastfeeding, bottle feeding, contraception, abnormal conditions associated with reproduction, and then the very last topic, I think, is genetics. That's in Form 3. Genetics 1, where we are going to look at some genetic terms, principles of Mendelian genetics, sex determination and the linkage, then a cell division. So these are the topics which you must cover in Form 3 in order to fully prepare for your 2026 MSCE exams. Alright, so welcome to topic number 1, in which we are going to be looking at living things and their environment. Welcome to the topic. Now let's look at the important terms used in this topic very quickly. The first one is habitat. A habitat is simply the surroundings in which an organism lives. Where an organism lives is called its habitat. Some organisms live in water. We call them aquatic animals or living things. Some organisms live in the soil. We call them soil fauna or soil flora. Some organisms live in trees and so forth. Alright, so where an organism lives is called a habitat. Another important term is an ecosystem. An ecosystem is simply the interaction. Shall define an ecosystem as the interaction of a community of organisms with their physical environment. So an ecosystem is when you are looking at all living things and the environment in which they live, the total sum of the environment in which organisms are found, including non-living things that are found therein. This is called an ecosystem. Now, another term is called niche. It's not an English word, it's borrowed. It's a niche, actually. There's an accent added there. Niche. Niche is simply the role that an organism plays in an ecosystem. The role that an organism plays in an ecosystem is called its niche. Niche. So niche is what an organism does in its ecosystem. And then we have the term ecology. We shall define ecology as the study of the understanding of organisms and their environment. The study of the interrelationship, not understanding, but interrelationship. That's the relationship among organisms in their environment is called ecology. And the people who study ecology are called ecologists. And then you have the term population. Population is simply the total number of organisms of the same species. Take note, it is the total number of organisms of the same species living in a particular habitat. Let's suppose that in a particular habitat there are monkeys. So the total number of monkeys living in such an environment or habitat is called the population. Or let's say you are looking at a particular type of plant, such as the Tridax procumbens, for example. Tridax procumbens, if if you manage to count all the Tridex procumbens in a particular habitat, then that is their population. Or if you are able to count all lizards living in a particular place, then you have a population of lizards. Another important step, before we proceed, it is important that these organisms must be of the same species. You cannot use the concept of population when referring to organisms of different species. Another one is community. Community. We shall use community to refer to the number of organisms of different species living in a given area. Let's suppose that in a particular area, there are monkeys, there are lizards, there are donkeys, there are buffaloes, there are giraffes, zebras, there are crocodiles, hippopotamus, and all of them together shall make a population. Another term that is also important to define is abiotic factors. Abiotic, the word abiotic means without life, no life, abiotic. Alright, so abiotic factors refers to the non-living parts of the environment. For example, factors such as temperature, humidity, air, rocks, water, and what have you. All those constitute abiotic factors. The opposite of abiotic factors is the term biotic. So abiotic factors, biotic factors are the living components of the environment. So the living parts, the living things that are found in a particular environment together will form biotic factors. Very, very important to note. If this is the first time for you to come on this platform, it is important that you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss on any videos as they are being uploaded. Alright, so each of the interacting populations has its own unique characteristic, including the differences in birth rate, death rate, age and sex ratios, density, dispersion and abundance, which vary greatly. In a stable environment, the number of individuals will relatively remain constant. In practical sense, the population of an ecosystem keeps on changing. So the study of changes in population numbers over time involves what is called population dynamics. So we shall look at population dynamics later on and look at some important aspects of it. For now, let me go. We have looked at the key definitions that apply to this topic called the organisms and their environment. Please keep in touch, keep checking on this platform for lesson number 2 of the same topic. Once again, my name is Mr. Paul Chirola, your teacher on this platform. Bye bye for now.